So you were born poor. You did not have a lot when you were growing up. In fact, you all almost seemed like you were struggling to put food on the table. Your family was in dire need of financial wellness, which was always lacking. That is not a problem. It is okay. It is just means that you grow up with less. But you have an opportunity in your adulthood to achieve a lot more. But there is always a problem if you are born poor, but you still have the same poor attitude within yourself. Now that you were born poor and people knew that you grew from a family that did not have much, a lot of people are tempted to want to prove themselves to their peers, to the people that they grew up with, that now they are doing well. So you want to buy a bigger house than every other person that you grew up with. You want to buy a bigger car than everyone that you grew up with. Why? Because you want to show that you arrived. You want to show that the person that they knew growing up is not the same person, that you are doing a little bit better, you are earning a little bit more. You want to prove yourself. This habit of trying to prove yourself before mere men is the folly of most people who grew up in poverty, is the folly of what causes men who ought to grow financially to stagnate in their growth. The big problem becomes that you may have had less because you started out with less, because your family was disadvantaged. Now you have access to more, but because of your pure bad habits of trying to prove unto others, you end up using all the money that you could have used as capital to secure the wealth for you and your family or generation, so that they don't go back to the same desperate state that you had, that all the opportunities and all the capital that you had goes down the drain. You want to host parties left, right, and center. You want to invite people to your house so that you can host them and feed them, because you did not grow up having meat or having all the choice food or having all the niceties in your home now, and you are always ashamed to bring people in your house because you did not have much. In fact, you didn't even have tea that had milk or sugar and all these nice things that were basic to most people. Maybe you did not have, but now that you have some, you want to bring everybody to come to your house, to have parties at your house. You want to handle all manner of gatherings. You want to do all these things just to show people. That habit of trying to prove yourself to people is the folly of most people. You take your children to the most fancy school, not because of anything else other than your ego. You want to touch your ego, rub your ego, make you feel a little bit better. Money, unfortunately, is not for you to look like you are doing well. Money, the most important thing about you to know about money, especially earned money that you earn on a 9 to 5 job or employment or business, is capital. It is capital for you to plant and for you to see it grow and for it to be fruitful, so that you can eat the fruits thereof. But every time you take your sweat money and you eat and squander it, it is one of the biggest financial holes that a lot of people are digging. That your sweat translates to your stomach and you end up with nothing at the end of the month. In fact, the difference between you and somebody who is in deep poverty is nothing, because at the end of the month, both of you are on a negative. In fact, you may even have been able to take an additional debt to cover for your excesses more than this other poor person could have accessed. So you're even in a more negative position. You look rich, you seem rich, but you are actually poorer than the poorer person who will have less in terms of income. Don't eat your set capital. Take it as a seed, plant it, invest it, see it grow, let it be fruitful. Then, of the fruits of that, you can be able to enjoy a little bit of life. But every time you take seed and eat it is a lost opportunity that you would have taken to invest and be able to grow your wealth. I'm talking to you who grew up without much. Don't make it to a point where your children will also be in the same position because of a pure financial habits. In fact, a wise man leaves an inheritance for his children and his children's children, creates generational wealth. But if you inherited poverty and you still want, because of your bad behavior, for your children to inherit poverty, you're just unwise. You are working in a way that is going to bring poverty to you and your family. There's nothing as bad as somebody who has a fancy accent, somebody who has fancy language that is poor, somebody who does not know how to board a matatu, a public means of transport, yet has to Do you see people who become stressed because they're used to the nice things in life, but because they have no financial backing in terms of at the time of a financial downturn, that they end up being in the worst places and they are not even adapted for the worst places? It is a terrible place to be. It is better to have grown with little and live with little than to have had a lot and then die in poverty. It is better to start at the grass and stay at the grass than to start with grace and end up at the grass. It is a lot more humiliating, especially if you started with it when you were growing up, acquired something that could have made something out of your life, but end up in poverty at the end of the day. Be a good steward of that which you have, plant it, invest it, use it in the best possible means so that it can be able to generate the best possible outcome for you and your children. Remember, stop trying to prove yourself to others. In fact, when people do not know much about you, when people have made assumptions about you, don't always try to prove them wrong. Let them be able to see, and when they are seeing, it is already too late. In fact, good wealth is hidden wealth, not showing off kind of wealth. Good wealth is wealth that is generated in secret, because wealthy people do not show their assets here and there and everywhere. In fact, only the fake rich people want to show you everything that they have, want to have all their wealth in jewelry and good things. Have you ever seen extra rich people having all this jewelry that hangs on the necks of people who want to make you think that they are rich? Have you ever seen them buy the fanciest cars? No, they live in the most basic of places. In fact, they live in reasonable neighborhoods. They live with reasonable cars. They do reasonable holidays. They do not splurge everywhere. They don't even post on social media. Social media is one of the traps that a lot of people want to brag and show that they are doing well, because if they cannot come to your parties, if they cannot eat of your food, then you might as well show them the pictures that you already hold. You want to show them this attitude that you are trying to have is going to be one of your biggest downfalls. Change your ways. Start planting your seed. Start investing your money. Don't feel the need to prove to others. Start generating generational wealth so that your children are in a better place financially than how you grew up in. You don't have to buy a big house. You don't have to have a big car. You don't have to take your children to the fanciest schools. You just need to be able to secure wealth enough to be able to generate fruitful income, passive income, to be able to hold the front, because you may not always work. Your job may not always be there. Your sweat may not always translate to wealth that is generated in monthly income. So think and do the right thing and create your wealth and save it for the generations that are coming. My name is George Kingori. Like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment down in the comment section. Thank you and enjoy your day.